Hi everyone, welcome to the CUSPEA talk. And these talks we have organized about 11 sessions. And the past talks you can find it here. Some talks are very diverse subjects, from physics, economics, politics. And we also have a sophomore doing startups. And last time we have a professor from China talking about biocar. Basically, it's like a hybrid between bike and a car. Today, I'm going to talk about the software tools. My name is, Chinese name is Gong Guang, English name is Gong. I have been a software developer for almost 20 years after left physics. And so the tool name used to be called IPython. First of all, I want to make just a disclaimer. This tool is first developed using Python. So assuming that you will have some knowledge, if not, later on will be a good opportunity for to at least look it up on Google what it is. And if you're interested, then you can pick it up rather easily. So initially it was called the IPython Notebook. I stands for Interactive Python. And then the next stage, they developed the web browser-based interface. It's called the Notebook. And it has gained a lot of attractions in data science and especially in universities, research labs. People find it very useful. And I think in last 2 years, because of the hype around the data science and big data, so they have changed the name to Jupyter. I don't know what does that mean. And my interest in this tool is actually not the technology itself. It's about using this tool for education. And so here, everything you see here, you see it's in the browser, and it's all written in the Python or HTML. So I give a brief overview of what we're going to talk about here, the outlines. And you see, I made the table of contents here. And again, I'm going to use a very, very simple math problems while we solve this problem in different ways. We try to demonstrate its different features of the the Jupyter Notebook. And then later on, you will feel for yourself whether it's going to be useful for you or not. So why do people use the notebook? I will start with use Microsoft Office as a comparison. It's like a reference point. For people working company, school, they're all familiar with their word processor, and then the email, Outlook, or spreadsheets for doing some calculation or tables, organizing the data. And then there are some other, like a database access. Then there are also some other products I have not even used. just for this this presentation, I did some research. Actually, like this last 4 has been discontinued. It's because I feel the Microsoft doesn't think that we'll be able to compete against some other products. So a brief introduction to the Jupyter, what it is. So I quote this from their website, and so it is an open source web applications that will allow you to create and share documents, and it contains live code. For example, here we use the Python, but you know, if you go to the website, for example, this is a homepage, jupyter.org, and you will see that you can have many choices of language you can use, Python, R, or some modern languages. And then you can also, you know, many of us has, you know, written thesis or scientific papers, and you know, we are familiar with LaTeX, and here that's integrated, so you can typeset very beautiful equations. And to doing visualization, graphs, by the way, you know, I just clicked on it, so because it is active. So this way, you know, right now, you can pretty much see the same information, but it is in the called a markdown format. Basically, it's a code, okay? And so then you can write text. So you see here we can do text, you can do graphs, equations, and formulas programming. So it's really an integrated authoring tool. And for data scientists, they are doing more advanced things. For example, doing data cleaning, transformation, simulation, statistical modeling. And I have listed here the main features of this tool. And so I'm more interested in this. It's basically, it's a learning tool that hopefully kids will like it. My son is a high school 2nd year, and I'm trying to, you know, try to persuade him to use this. And I just, this is really the motivation. So you see, we have an open source tool that, you know, it's free and will be evolving, you know, towards maturity, or, you know, adopting, having more features. And this is a Microsoft. Obviously, you have to pay for some licenses, but obviously they have some nice features too. So I have listed a brief comparison here, you know, what Jupyter Notebook can do, and what, you know, the other alternatives are. And if you go to the Jupyter, the homepage, you will see. I just want to click on this very nice demo. This is written by some other people to showcase the features of the Jupyter. And you know, I know some of you are scientists. Then you'll probably appreciate how nice this is. Basically, everything you see here is all done in a browser, and it's publication quality. And I believe in this particular example, they are solving, you know, partial differential equations to do some modeling. And you see the complicated formulas, matrix, and then later on you see nice graphs. Here's a nice graph. Yeah, so it can be 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, and you can see the tables, numerical results. And the nice thing about this is that you have a code. So for example, here, let's say this is this we call the cell. In this particular cell, you write down the code. Then then you will just execute. And execute, you'll get the results. For example, the next step, they will look at the value of these variables. So that's a very quick, brief overview what Jupyter is. And if you are already familiar with, and then yeah, I think the rest will be easy for you. But for the newbies, I'll just go through this, and yeah, that will be the main substance of this talk. So I used a very simple math. Let's say a company is very hot, it is selling a hot product. So, first year it has 30 customers, and 3 years later it has 250. And obviously it's a simple math, how to calculate the annual growth rate of the customer base. And so you see here, let's say for education purpose, I say, I'm going to translate this into a math problem, write down the formula, like this. So this is, when we do in science, solve any problem, we just, describe the problem first. This is called problem statement. And then we are going to see how we're going to solve this. So I collect all the libraries will be used in the following in one place. Obviously, you can import the library, for example, math. If you want to do call some math function, trigonometry, or absolute value, you will need to use the function from this library. So this is how you're going to load a library before you use it. And then the NumPy is another advanced mathematics library for linear algebra and many more. And Pandas is a library for data analysis, especially data science, big data. And Matplotlib is for graphing, for plotting the nice graph, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. Okay. SymPy is symbolic math. Later on, I'll show you. In the old days, people say they can do math and using paper and a pencil, but not anymore. You can use computer to do the same thing you would do as by hand. So this is called symbolic math, and also this is very precise too. And finally, I will just maybe demonstrate some of the features very nicely using the HTML5 with audio videos, and also some interactive widgets that you can integrate into this notebook. So I will pretend that we are walking up the ladder of the education. For example, we start from the elementary school. For a student in elementary school to solve this math problem, I think the best way for them is to guess. I mean, they can do multiplication, they can do all these simple things, so they can just guess. Okay, so if you guess, you can use, for example, here. Let's say here's the active cell. Okay, so I'm here, for example, you can just press this, the button, then it will execute. Okay, for example, if I would type 4, then you execute. Obviously, it's a big number, but that's how you actually use this, to execute the code in the notebook. Okay, by guessing, the student in the elementary school will get the answer, not precise, but a good estimate. It's roughly between 1 and 1.2. So that means the growth rate of the customer is almost 100 to 200%. Let's say the students advance to middle school. and he started learning the functions, and well, learn how to use calculators. And so then this notebook will be a fantastic calculator. You know, first of all, you don't have to spend like $100 to $200 to buy this HP whatever Texas Instrument scientific calculator. So this will, you know, you can do anything you like. You know, for example, here I'm calling. By the way, there's a log. You know, you need to use the math library, and exponential. You need to do the yeah. Basically, you need to call the math function. And you know, for people which has you know enough algebra, they can solve this analytically. So that's what I did. So you solve this equation analytically. You plug in this formula and numbers into your calculators. Then you can find the answer. So actually, the exact answer is 1.02. So that means the growth rate, it is almost 100% exact. Okay. So I just here demonstrate, you know, for the new guys, you know, you can call different math function to get the same answers. Now this, you know, students may be very techy and start learning Python, okay, in high school. And here I will try to go quickly here, not to go into, you know, too much details. But this will, at least you will get a flavor for the you know, what the Python language is. So here we'll do programming. Here it's just a loop. So this is, you know, for programming, it's sometimes very brute force way to solve an issue problem. You know, here we just say, I define the range. The solution must lie between 1.0 and 1.2. You know, we estimated it first. And then I just, you know, march along this axis, and I divide this into 100 steps. So then you will just calculate the small increment. And this is the way the Python create a list. And then you store this 100 steps along this axis into a list. Okay, for example, in here, if you want to find out a variable, what does the type it is, you say type, then call the function type. So here you say this is a list. And if you want to do some you know, number checking, you just print it out, the results. So here is 100 numbers from 1.0 to 1.2. And then, you know, we just, this is a very basic programming skill. You know, you just loop this through using the for loop. And remember, this XL is a list. And for each number we get from this list, we'll calculate the errors. Basically, how you know, left side minus the right hand side. If the error is very small, then it means they are equal. So then we got the answer. Okay, so you just run this code. For example, I'm going to run it right now. Yeah, you see they give you the answer. For example, if I'm going to let's say loosen this to a little bit, no, narrow this to a bit, I would say 0.5. You see, previously it's a 1. The error, so 0.5 is okay, 0.2 is okay, 0.9 is okay. But if I narrow this, I execute this. So now you see, because the range is smaller, so I only find the one answer. And so here I created this array using the list. Obviously, you can use the NumPy array that is listed here. I will not go too much detail. Basically, you can use some function called the array, and you know, without doing this kind of a setup, you just call this function. You will give you you know, a list of numbers. Then you can do the same thing as we did before. Then here I just you know, print out the error. You know, see where the difference is closest to 0. Oh, you see, for example, I found this one. So that means the X value for this would be the answer. And yeah, here again, I'm just same loop, but using an array, an NP array. And here's another way to create an array. Okay. So this student has advanced to high school, and so learned geometry, graphing, analytic geometry. So there is another tool one can do this in Notebook. It's called the plotting. Yeah, Matplotlib. So this one is also very visual, intuitive, and so basically, let's say I remember we used the graph paper to solve problems before, and so basically, you see here I have a lot of crosses. You may not be able to see, but if I expand this, you probably should be able to see. So what if let's say. So yeah, I'm doing a graph. You can see it instantaneously. You will see the change. For example, I know this is where these two cross, the 0 line and this straight line cross should be my answer. So I'm going to plot 1.0 to 1.4. Okay, so you just change it right away, and you should see the answer result here. Yeah, see. So I just made a lot of dots, crosses, and okay, so you see here 1.027. So that would be my solutions. And so, you can set up the axis very nicely. For example, for people who don't know the Greek letters, you can, use the Greek letters. This is in LaTeX. And yeah, it's just a few lines of code, then you can do some nice graphic. Okay, so I changed it back, so you just run it, then you will yeah. So basically the graphing is very nice. This obviously here is very simple straight line, but in reality you may have very complicated functions. So using this, you can also visually display where the solution is. So next step, say this student is very advanced in algebra. So now this is cubical, the equations, and yeah, it's more complicated than quadratic equations, and yeah. So he's advanced, so he's good. He can solve this. This quadratic equation will have 3 solutions, and they are. So you'll notice that there's this one in Python or in some other symbolic language. I stands for complex numbers. So using this symbolic Python math package, one can just solve this 2 lines of code. First of all, you set up this x as the symbolic variables, and then you just call this simply solve functions. And here's this the equation we want to solve. You solve for x. Okay, so it plotted this out. It has 3 solutions, so it give you in a list. Obviously, this is a real world problem, so we throw out a complex solution. So then you can even evaluate this. You see here, the nice thing about this, you see here, this is precise. Yeah, no numericals is precise. To get numerical, you just simply using this as a calculator. You can get back to numerals. Okay, so next, these kids will go to college, and so they say pursuing data science. So We have a special Python package. It's really big library for doing statistical or just the data analysis in general. Okay, it is called pandas, and so here you can do the same thing. I create basically this is I'm just looking at for year by year. I'm going to calculate using the formula on the left hand side to find out what is the rate, for the first year, second year, and third year. So this is they have a key concept called data frame. It's if you're familiar with the database, it's really just a table. Yeah. So it's all spreadsheets. And so you see here, I have the year, and I have the here it should be called the customer, and then this will calculate the let me change this. Yeah, so this is how easy it is. If you want to make some changes, you just type it and okay, so there is no change. Okay. Oh, okay, I need to change this customers. Yeah, I see here from headcount to change the customers. Okay. And using pandas, you can do plotting as well. It's even simpler than in the matplotlib. So here you just say plot, it will plot the line graph. And here, if you can do bar graph, especially in business, like this kind of more, I don't know, it's a rectangle plot. And so that's it. I think the student can graduate now in terms of using Python, doing math, and basically on every levels there's tools for the student to learn and to practice. And I think this will be a great way for them to turn in their homework, right? It's almost like a scientist writing a paper. It's looks perfect. So finally, I think yeah, that's bulk of my talk. So next, I will just have some fun, using this, see how it interact with the HTML. Sorry, someone is not happy. Okay. So this one, since this is the browser based, this is basically a browser based scratch sheet. Some people call it a notebook, but you can call it this, notepad, scratch paper. Basically, you are able to write something in it. Most time the browser actually is like most time will read. Okay. Sometimes you want to shopping, you enter some credit card number. But here is really open it up, keep it wide open. You see, everything you do here is created by you, and by you, the person in front of the browser. So you are, have a lot of power right now. For example, here I'm going to create, let's say, go back to the, first kindergarten students learn how to multiply the numbers. So I actually create a multiplication numbers and multiplication table, and just use a simple HTML. You see here, this is the HTML table, and then those are the variables, and the variables, the column 0 to 9, the rows 0 to 9. So this is double loop. And then if you're familiar with the HTML table, then you create a very beautiful multiplication tables. You know, when I remember I was that age, we have to, you know, buy a card, flash card, you know, in order to do this kind of a learning. But nowadays, you know, you create your own. And yeah, if you like, you know, you have nice pictures you want to share. By the way, this is a homepage that you also yourself. And later on, you can just publish this on the web. I'll show you later on. And so your friend can see this. Yeah, it's not something that only you can do it locally. You can share, you know, share with anyone. So for example, if you want to display image and yeah, you know, in HTML, it's an image tag. And yeah, use this way to organize your pictures maybe, or decorate your homepage. And again, here's doing some scalable vector graphics. Yeah, this is called SVG. And you see here, this they draw the circles, you know, draw 10 circles. By the way, this is not based upon pixel. You know, on computer graphics, mostly are based on pixel, but here is based on mathematics. So this is precise. You know, if you magnify in it, you will not see much the pixels. And yeah, I like to, you know, sometimes listen to podcasts. So here you can keep track of some of the interesting podcasts. So here, by the way, now we come to this Mr. Rosen. He is the creator and the czar of the Python. Okay, but people don't know. So basically, he has a lot of power. And for example, if you say, you know, Python is not good, you want to improve it, well, he has to improve it. Basically, he controls the source code of Python right now. Yeah. And used to work for Google, because Google think, you know, because Google used a lot of Python, and so he thinks that it will be good to keep him around. And but he doesn't need to do anything. So I heard that just 2 years ago he so feel bored. You know, he jumped to the Dropbox. You know, maybe Dropbox has some task for him. So you know, here, you know, I found a podcast, so you can embed it. So now you can play it. Yeah. So now you can play this podcast or your view music, you know, right here. And here, you know, if you want to know about, there's talk radio about the Python. Yeah, so here it is. You have a lot of interest in the subject on Python. Yeah. Okay. And of course, you can embed videos. For example, here's the keynote talk by this person called Brian. He is a creator of the IPython notebook, which is now the leader for the Jupyter. So yeah, you're welcome. You know, you can play it here. You know, yeah. So it's right here. And so beyond this passive display, and you can actually do some widget. For example, here, oh, yeah, it didn't work, I think. For example, I can, oh, here, I can put multiple videos, but let me see, I think, let me, this, if I do this, you will probably, because I did the back browser, so oh, here it is. You see the browser here? So, you know, I put a video of the music, but you say, you know, I want to change this to the same Python talks. Okay, so you can do this very easily. Okay, so obviously there's a lot of more widgets you can play with. So here I'm using the drop down. They are like a scaler, the spinner, you name it. So if you're interested doing just UI development, this is a great way to get started. You know. So that comes to the end of these presentations, and I have listed some of the references, useful websites, and here, this is mainly for the newbies, and there are just tons of information that you can use and learn. And I also listed some great books here that really it's really geared for the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and this one is also very good because it has a lot of chapters which is on different subjects. For example, if you're interested in the music signal processing, if you statistical model, those are the statistical model. Here's machine learning, visualization, high performance computing, so you name it. So basically, if you really are interested in the, oh, did someone hack this, my computer? Yeah, so that's it. And here I have an appendix. I will share this maybe tomorrow or on the on one of the websites, and you can have this notebook, and then if you follow these installations and on your laptop or desktop, you can play with it right away, and you can make changes. And the installation actually is very oh, someone didn't hack it. Oh, probably I don't know how it did it. So basically, everyone recommend you to use Anaconda. So this is a distribution of Python, and that one they did excellent work. So make it pain-free to install the Python. And we are here for this demonstration. I used the Python 3. There are also distribution for Python 2. So once you have this installed, then to start the notebook, you just type on the command line. For example, here, this is a command line. You know, I'm using the Windows, so so you just type the. You can see it now. This has a logging of everything. So you just type Jupyter Notebook, then you will pop up. You start this page. This is called home page. You see here, this is my notebook sheets script, okay, in this one. And then you can start playing with it. And then, as I say, you can share this. For example, let's say you can go to here. You can just type your, for example, this one. Let's see if it works here. Okay. Oh, sorry. So I think it won't be able to do on my local because I'm using a local. But if you go later on, I show on the browser on the web somewhere, then you should be able to generate the page. Yes. Yeah. So that's it. Let's come to the end of it. There are some other features, for example, here that I have not tried yet. I tried it, but it didn't work very well. For example, you can this one you can publish it to Anaconda's website. Oh yeah, this one you can publish. Then this one you can, I think, play this as a presentation, like slideshow. And in case you want to, instead of sharing this active code, you can, print this as a PDF. Then you can use this as PDF to share with your friends. You see here, right away you generate nice PDF documents and to share it with your friends. Okay. As I say, this was excellent for students to turn in their homework. So you know, if you did some research, so you should be able to impress your teachers. And yes, 8:45. That's all I have prepared. But you know, I just may want to make you know, I'm still doing research on using this for teaching, for learning. So I have not finished yet, but I'm you know, when I have enough material, I'll do another presentation on something called open source learning. Yeah. So yeah, so this is more geared towards the students try to learn science, technology, engineering, and math. Okay. So yeah, this is very primitive right now, so I don't have a lot to show, but hopefully in a few weeks, you know, I will share this again. That's it. Thank you. If you have any questions, I have a questions. Who actually hacked this? I don't know how you did it.
Someone used the annotate button.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
thank you. So that is the whiteboard features. Thank you, thank you. Yes, okay.
So this is more like a notepad. So how did you publish to this stuff? I think I probably missed that part.
What's your name?
I'm Frank.
Oh, Frank. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you publish what you have?
Okay. You see here, the easiest way to publish, you know, I can publish to the Anaconda website. This is a community website. Let's just do that. Okay. Okay. I have not created the account, but once you create the account, then there you have it. Okay.
So they will not see your code, right? They only see the result.
Well, we are learning through. I'm not afraid of people to see my code.
But if they see because they can change it, then what's the point of publishing it? I don't know.
Oh yeah. So if you want to publish that way, I would recommend you publish as a PDF. Okay. Yeah. You see here, this is in the browser. You know, print it. So I would say, you know, I mean, let me make one comment. This is not the only notebook on the market. Okay. So they are competing notebook. Just do a Google search. There, Apache is coming up with a notebook, very primitive, but they have a bigger dream. They okay. And there was for people familiar with R, the R Studio also copied this idea. They created something called the R Notebook. This is I used it. It's very nice. And there it has a feature. For example, let's say I have the code here. You see here, front. It's not nice, you know, especially if I want to publish a book. Let's say.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. So you have an option to hide this. Okay.
Okay.
That one you just search R. You know, R stands for, you know. Let me just search right now. Okay. So because this one they have R notebook. People has used the professional books. Okay, they publish a book and using this R markdown, which is using the R notebook. Okay, so there you have the option to hide the codes, so people will not be able to see it. Obviously, if you share the code with your friends, they will be able to see it. They can unhide it, right? Okay. Okay, any question? I see a message from 徐老师。哎，徐老师你好，你在福州 ？Yeah, okay, good voice, thank you.
那要用这个东西是不是要会写 code 呀？
请问你是谁？
我是李素凤。
哦 ，OK, yes. 我们实际上就是说，希望大家学一点 Python, OK? 学一点 HTML5. Okay, Python, you know, the reason it is popular is because it is easy to get on up to the speed. Okay.
那就是sorry， 如果就是9年级的学生不会写 code 的话，他就不能用这个软件是吧？
对，那当然了， yeah. 当然就是说怎么讲呢？ 要看它用来做什么事情。假如它不用做来做 math， 不用做什么，打个比方，它要不需用 Python 的话，you can use some of the other HTML, like do blogging. Okay, they can do blogging, insert image. This is almost as if they, you know, go to WordPress to create a nice page there. Yeah, that's the same thing. Okay.
OK，
一个 common 的 TensorFlow， Google 的那个 TensorFlow 也是用Python 的那个 open source 的那个，它也是一个 Python。
请问你是谁？
王信东，对。
你好，你好 ，yes，
呀，所以那个 Python 就像文光说的，it's really
versatile. Yeah, very versatile. Very right now is very popular, and I would also say it's very powerful right now. Yes. 谢谢王新东 ，yes。
嘿，文光 ，this is 明雅，你好。
哎呀，明雅你好。
你好 ，Yeah, that's good, that's good. 那个 ，Thank you for the talk, that's nice. 那个，我有2个问题啊，一个是你这个I don't know which way Chinese, English. So number one, 你这个东西现在是 running on local, right? You're running that thing on the local.
Yeah.
And when you code it, I saw you use Markdown, right? You use Markdown to code it.
Well, there's
also
two different formats, code or Markdown.
Okay. You can also just go directly HTML, right? You can do it directly to HTML, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. For example, here the table of the contents I just did is no HTML. It's just Markdown. You see here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you use Python, and you use Python to code in here. And you said it supports different languages, right? So you can you can also do JavaScript. You can even do like do other languages. So it supports multiple languages, but it's all within the web page, right? Within this web view, you can. So when you click on that, then you can start to edit. Right? That's nice.
Yes.
Performance. Okay. So is this thing like, do they always make it compatible? Let's say I wrote something, right? I wrote a notebook. I wrote an article. It has text. It has static text in it. It has programming code in it, right? Like math things in it. So once I got it, I saved it. Okay, I saved it in that file, and then I publish it. And then in the future, would that always work? I mean, do they make sure it's always not going to break?
Yes. Okay. I will. Actually, I will explain why it will always work. It is the behind the scene. It is actually JSON. Okay, you see here. This is the file. You know, let's see here. This is a file that I'm displaying right now. Okay, and if you go to here, you know, you can say I'm going to text edit this. Okay, so this is it's kind of like XML, but it's called JSON, and which is Java object language, right? You know, serial object, and you see everything is text, and as long you you know you are using the same version of a Python, you should not have any issues with compatibilities. Yes.
So the backend is always interpreted with Python. It's always Python. Okay.
I actually don't know whether they use you know, the actual implementation is C or not, but mostly it's in Python. Yes.
Okay.
It just compile the Python. I think the way you think about it is really Python can be compiled into
yes, bytecode.
Yeah, bytecode. So in that sense, it's once you get to the underlying bytecode, it really doesn't.
请问你是谁？
王信东。
王信东 again. Okay, yes. Yes, that's correct.
I think this is all, this is me again. I think it's all great idea, and you can all do, you know, different things, scientific, statistics. You can also just do a simple web publishing.
Yes.
And I suppose you can also support like a database behind
Oh,
it.
yes, I did not demonstrate it. There was a very simple database. Remember, I say this will replace the Access. So Python has a very native something called SQLite. And, you know, I created a spreadsheet, I created a connection, then you can do all kinds of select, update, delete, whatever, okay? Then you can, you know, display this. So, you know, it is really up to you what you're gonna do. I hope that someone is more creative, can come up with some more use case, yes, yeah.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Hongong.
Oh, you're welcome, Jamia. Any more questions? Oh, I think back to Zhao Frank's questions. Okay, you know, for open source, the best way to share is through the GitHub, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I actually published the early version to a GitHub, okay? For example, you know, I create a repository called Open Source Learning, and here, you know, this is a file, okay? You just click on it, it will start render. And obviously, this is the earlier versions, not the same as what I just displayed, but mostly it's the same. You see here? Mostly it's the same. The video did not get displayed. I don't know why, but all the other is displayed identical. So, for example, you know, you just you know, everyone can create a repository. You know, register, then you create a repository, then you upload it. Then everyone can, you know, share, make changes, contribute, whatever. Yeah. Any other question? Okay, if not, I will end this session, and thank you for attending. And
Thank you.
yeah, I will send out the email. You can send me an email send me an email if you want to get the location where I share it. It's just or if you just search open source learning, maybe you will be able to see that. Yeah, I will try to upload it to that GitHub in 1 or 2 days. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.